class. As you walked in, you should have grabbed a do now sheet and a red and blue colored pencil. You're going to have 1 to 2 minutes to work on this with your partner, and then we're going to go over the answer. Okay, can I have 2 volunteers? One to graph the red line and one to graph the blue line. Good job. Does everyone's graph look like this? Okay. Your classmates forgot to do something really important. What did we forget to do? Yeah, we need to label the X and Y axis. Make sure you guys are always labeling them. Okay? Can I have a brave volunteer to answer C? Go ahead. Yep. The red line is steeper than the blue line. If we look, it's higher up right here. Also, if we think about when we're walking or climbing up a hill, the steeper the hill is, the higher it usually is. So your answer for sheet C should say something along the lines like the red line is higher or steeper than the blue line. Okay? So we're actually going to talk about the slope formula today, and that formula helps us calculate the actual value to measure the steepness so that we can use math to compare the steepness of 2 different lines. You're going to be getting a worksheet to fill in on the board, and then we'll discuss it. Okay, so your slope formula says it is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You may also see it written as m equals this triangle y over the triangle x. Has anybody ever seen this symbol and know the proper name for it? No? Okay, so it's also called delta. Right, it's a really popular symbol used in math and science classes. You may have seen it when you're doing a science lab. Okay, if not, look out for it, and you'll be able to tell your science teacher, and they'll be really impressed. Okay, we also might see it written as rise over run. Right, if we think about the y and x axis, the y-axis goes up and down, so we're rising, and the x-axis goes side to side, and if we're running in that direction, right? We can't run up and down. That doesn't work. Okay? So let's look at some problems and how we would use this formula. So can someone read question 1 for me? Good. All right, the first thing we're going to do when we're solving these is we're going to label our coordinates. So the first coordinate gets our x1, y1 values, and the second coordinate gets our x2, y2 values. Okay? Now we're going to use the formula and just substitute those values right in. So our y2 value is 4. Our y1 value is -2. Okay, when there's a negative, put it in parentheses so you don't forget the sign. Our x2 value is 4. Our x1 value is 3. And now we're just going to simplify top and then bottom. So 4 minus 2 is the same thing as 4 plus 2, which is 6. And 4 minus 3 is 1. And we can simplify this more to just be 6. Okay, so our final answer is 6. What do you guys think? Not too bad, right? All right, let's do number 2. What's the first thing I need to do? Good, I need to label. The next thing I do, good, I'm going to substitute it into my formula. Good. Can someone tell me the numbers I'm going to put in the top? Good. And the numbers for the bottom? Good. All right. -1 minus 0 is? Good. -1. -8 minus 16 is? -14. Good. Can I simplify this anymore? What's negative divided by a negative? Good, a positive. So this becomes, good, 1 over 14, okay? You could have fractions. I don't want any decimals for this. What do you guys think? Not too bad, right? Right. It really helps when you label your coordinates, because a lot of people put the wrong numbers in the places, right? We're going to do the bottom of the worksheet. I just want you guys to copy this down and then we'll discuss it. I hope you guys like my pictures over here. Okay, so when we are walking up a hill or going hiking, right, we either have these really hard hills to climb, or if we're walking from here to the door, right, our surface level is flat. So we see in real life that we have different types of slopes. So that's why we have positive, negative, 0, and undefined, right? So when I was doing these notes, I was thinking about how it relates to our relationship with God and our passion and zeal for Him. So I know zeal is probably a new word. So we're going to define it together as a class, and we're going to see how it relates to these 4 different slopes. Okay, can I have a few volunteers to read? Go ahead. Good. Go ahead. Good. So what else? Good. Can someone read the Bible verse for me? Good. So looking at our definition, we see that zeal means you're going to be passionate or enthusiastic about something. So for me as a teacher, I'm passionate and about math. I'm passionate about teaching. That's why I'm here. All right. What are some things that you guys are passionate and excited about? Sports, good. You guys pull out. Cooking, good. So what else? Studying, grades, yeah. What about you? Shopping, yeah, that's a good one. Okay. So if we look at our 4 slopes, the positive slope is like those of us who are passionate about sports or cooking, right? We practice to get better at those skills, right? So that we can get better and better. And the more that we practice, the more we increase those skills. And the same is true with our relationship with God. The more that we spend in the Word, the more that we are praying and going to church and youth group, the more that we grow in those relationships. So our zeal increases, and as our relationship with God increases. And the same is true with the negative slope, right? If we are not practicing, if we are choosing to do the wrong things, things that are harmful, we decide that we're not going to go to practice, or we're going to sleep instead of go to church, right? We're not going to grow. We're decreasing our passions, and we're decreasing our skills. And the same is true with our relationship with God. If we're not actively pursuing Him, and we're not actively doing things to increase our relationship with Him, we're going to decrease, and we're going to decrease in our relationship with Him. So then we have the zero slope, okay? And that's like the going through the motions, being constant, right? If we look at our graph, it's just a straight line, straight horizontal line. So that's as if we only practice during the season for a sports team. We're not staying in shape. We're not going to clubs or doing anything to help us grow when it's not the season for that sport, right? And that's the same as our relationship with God, right? If we're just going to church and we're just going to youth group because our family members are dragging us there, but we don't want to be there, we're still gaining something from it, but we're not really increasing our skills because we don't necessarily want to be there. And then the last one is the no slope or undefined. And if you guys look at the picture, there's not even a stick figure there because it's like it's non-existent. And it's the same thing with your passions, like for cooking and sports. If you never try out for a team or you never cook a day in your life, it's like it's non-existent. It doesn't exist. You never tried it before. And the same is true with our relationship with God. If you don't know God, or you don't go to church, or you don't read or anything, you're not going to grow in it. It's like you have no relationship at all, no zeal for Him. So as you guys look at the slopes, I want you to consider how or where you fall in this category. And if you feel brave enough to talk to me or write it down and leave a note for me to tell me where you're at, and if you're curious about how you can grow and become in this positive slope category, feel free to talk to me. I'd love to encourage you. Right? So now we're going to do some problems together. You can turn over your worksheets and we'll get started. All right. I'm giving you 1 minute to label which slope is which. Okay? You can work with your partner. Don't cheat. Either use my example I just gave you about your walk with God and being zealous, or discuss with your partner. Okay, can I have 4 volunteers? Good job. Raise your hand if you got all 4 correct. Good. All right. For anyone that didn't get all 4 of them correct, do you see what you did wrong? Okay. I'm going to give you guys a really cool trick to help you remember between 0 and undefined. So if you look at the word 0, it's sort of the capital Z. If you trace over the line, you can physically make a capital Z. And the same works with undefined. The other word for undefined is no slope. So we look at the letter N, okay? We can actually trace over this line and make a capital N here. Okay, so if you ever get confused between the two, see what letter you can make. Let's work on number 5 together. Can someone read the question for me? Good. All right, let me just pull it up a little bit. Alright, so our first thing is we're going to graph these points. Remember, we're going to label our X and Y axis. Like you got this picture. What type of slope is this? This is our undefined. Good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to use our slope formula to see if when we solve it mathematically that we get the same answer. So I'll write the slope formula for you on the side here. Okay. All right, before we actually substitute it into the formula, let's label our coordinates. All right, what's negative 5 divided by 0? Undefined, good. Does everyone see that our answers from looking at the graph and solving the formula are the same? They always should be. If not, you either did one or the other incorrectly. They should always match. All right, I want you guys to work on numbers 6 and 7 with your partner, and then we'll go over them as a class. All right, can I have a volunteer for number 6? Come on up. All right, did everyone get that as their answer? Good. Your graph, you have a negative slope, and then you also have 6 over negative 5 is your answer. Perfect. Can I have a volunteer for 7? Come on up. Good. So does everyone have that for number 7? Good, we have a negative slope, okay? Good job for putting in parentheses here. And then when you divide here, you get a negative 2. These match. Good job. Who got 6 and 7 right? Good. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay. 8 through 10 is going to be your homework. I'm going to hand you guys out a exit ticket. That's going to be your quiz for today. You're going to have 5 minutes to work on it, and then we'll go over it together as a class. You guys get started as soon as I hand it out, and you may use your calculators. All right, 5 minutes is up. You're going to check your answers using a red colored pencil from the beginning of class. Okay, any corrections you made, please do it in that colored pencil. All right? Can I have a volunteer to do number 1? Come on up. Perfect. Did everyone get 5 as their answer? Raise your hand if you got 5. Good, you guys all got 5. All right, volunteer for number 2. Come on up. Perfect. Does everyone have this as their graph? Good. For those of you who made a mistake, just double check your work, okay? Please hand in your exit ticket. Make sure you have your name on your top, and have a great day.